Hello and welcome to Food Webs. You might notice food webs sort of sounds a little bit like food chains. Well, guess what? They're awfully similar. Both show how energy is transferred in an ecosystem. As I said, food chains do work a lot like food webs. They all start with the sun. They go to a producer, a primary consumer, and secondary consumer. Pay attention to this specific one that we made in Glogster a while ago. It's going to come up a little bit later. Like all food chains, it always starts with the sun. The sun's rays give energy to producers such as plants who use photosynthesis to make their energy, and then those producers are then eaten by consumers such as a cow. The cow here would be a primary consumer because he's directly eating a producer. From there, we could be the secondary consumer, the consumer that eats another consumer. But of course, hamburgers are all well and good, but we don't always eat the same thing every day, day in, day out. We always try to give variety of things. You might eat several different types of foods in a day. You might eat hamburgers, juice, sandwiches, salads, hot dogs, fruit, cereal. All of these different things would be its own food chain. But writing all those food chains would definitely be difficult. There must be an easier way to put them all together. Food webs mean that we eat many different kinds of things. Food webs start off with a single food chain. Here in our food chain from our Glogster poster, we have the sun. Then the sun gives its energy to plants or producers who use photosynthesis to make their own energy. Then those producers are eaten by primary consumers, or animals that eat plants. Then they are in turn eaten by secondary consumers, or animals that eat other animals. In this case, we have the sun giving energy to grass, which is giving energy to the rabbit, which is giving energy to the... But rabbits don't always eat the same things, just like us. We do not always eat the same things either. Rabbits in a day might eat grass, he might eat some berries, he might eat some leafy vegetables, or he might eat the tops of carrots. Similarly, foxes don't eat all of the same thing either every day. This fox might eat some grass and berries, but he might also eat grasshoppers and possibly birds, as well as our rabbit. Here we can start to see some of the connections come together. If we take a look at the sun giving energy to the grass, giving energy to the rabbit, giving energy to the fox, is our basic food chain. From there, we can expand to create it into a food web. We know that all of our producers get their energy from the sun. We can see by the arrows, all of them connected to the... Similarly, our rabbit gets its energy from all these different types of producers. We can see from the arrows that it's connected to all the producers. We have our fox, who's connected to certain consumers and producers. And we added a grasshopper, which eats certain producers, and a bird, which eats certain producers and a consumer. Now, whenever we put these all together, it starts to look a little bit like a web. And just like most webs, it does look fairly complicated. But ecosystems are complicated things. There's a lot of plants and animals and other living things in an ecosystem, and they are all connected to each other in some way or another, whether it's directly or through another consumer or through a producer.